I believe we are. What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. Today, we are here to discuss the open tampering market. Yes, free agency ain't quite open. March 16th is when it's officially open, and you can put pen to paper. But March 14th, your boy's birthday, and we can figure out, maybe narrow it down, start to see who the Eagles are really targeting. But before we get into everything today, we got to play the intro.
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's I like. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, Eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What up? Philly Talk Podcast. Philly Mike here, free agent, keeps, targets. We going to talk a little draft, but it's mainly going to be about free agency. If you're watching this on the rerun, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and ding that notification bell so you can be like the 45, 52 people who go strong for the Philly Talk Podcast. Shout out to Eugene, RD, Ethan, Roger, George, Dean, Justin, Anthony, Ryan, Rowe, the Digital Print House, channel members in the building early. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let's talk about it. We've been hearing some rumors ramp up. Juju Smith-Schuster, Chandler Jones. We heard that we were very, very active for Calvin Ridley prior to his mishap, right? But that just goes to show you where Howie Roseman's head is when it comes to veteran wide receivers. I know a lot of people do not want to target Juju Smith-Schuster with all the tic-tac stuff that he does. But I just think that Juju Smith-Schuster was very productive as a number 2 alongside of AB. And I'm not trying to compare Devontae Smith to AB, but I do believe he accepted his role, right? He tried to be the number 1, couldn't quite do it. I think as a number 2, he'll complement Devontae Smith very well. And then you also got guys like Quez Watkins who look to take the next step. And who else knows what we'll do when it comes to draft and whatnot. But I wouldn't be mad if we went out and got him. Isaiah, what's going on? Appreciate all the birthday wishes in the chat. Ice baby. Jetty said on lunch, good to see you, bro. How about the Cowboys trading their talent for nothing? Exactly. Amari Cooper out the door. And there's some interesting numbers, Dak Prescott wise, when you look at what he was able to do since Amari Cooper has became a Cowboy, and what has he really done without Amari Cooper? Now, you can go to say that he didn't have nobody, and now that CeeDee Lamb is taking his role as the number 1, Gallup getting paid a $62 million deal, that it's okay. But I just want to remind you, say this is one of the birthday gifts, you know what I mean? Super Bowl champions, you know how we do. For those who follow the community post, I put up the Eagle skin. Of course, y'all know I recently got the P5, and my wife got me some Eagle skins for the PS5 so we can do it the right way. We definitely going to be streaming some of these games on the channel, 2K and Madden. That's all I really play. I might get Call of Duty, I don't know, but Madden and 2K is what I really play. LK said, happy birthday. Thank you very much. Witch King in the building. You already know. Taekwon TV. Appreciate it. But let me know, if I had to ask you guys, you know, with all the rumors out there, knowing what the Eagles can use to feel better about going in a draft, who is somebody that you want to target, right? Who is one of the guys that you think, you know, should be high on our list? A guy that you think is low-key important to just, you know, kind of make this roster look somewhat better going into the draft so you can really focus on getting a core of this, that, and the third, because you don't know exactly where Howie Roseman's going to go. You know what I mean? There's Von Miller, Chandler Jones, Randy Gregory. I know he's an ex-Cowboy. We really don't like to talk about ex-Cowboys. Jadeveon Clowney's out there. Hassan Riddick. Emmanuel Ogba, as far as I know, hasn't got signed yet. You got Stephon Gilmore, J.C. Jackson, Carlton Davis. Gilmore being the older route, but J.C. Jackson and Carlton Davis being someone you can target who can grow with the other pieces to your defense, especially if you go out and make this a pretty hefty defensive draft. Tyrann Matthews, Marcus Williams, Quandre Diggs. These are all defensive pieces. I feel like there's a lot more on the defensive side that you can go out and target. Not saying there's nobody from the offense I would like. Like I said, Juju Smith-Schuster just seems like it's something the Eagles will do. Emmanuel Ogbah resigned with the Dolphins. All right, shout out to him. Shout out to him. Prime Time in the building, channel member. Appreciate you for tuning in. Superhero said, "Happy B-Day, bro. Would you like to see the Eagles tamper with?" Like I said, there's just so many defensive players out there, and I feel like, the Eagles have an opportunity to really bolster up the defense via the draft. I'm not opposed to still go out there and shoring up something in the secondary. Again, we know linebackers, safeties, corners. These are things that we need as an organization, and these are things that you can never have too much of, right? Especially if you're talking about covering linebackers, covering safeties, and, of course, what do corners do? They cover. Justin Reed is someone that's been on the Eagles' radar. Shout out to Chris. And shout out to everybody in the chat. Let me know that Ogbah re-signed with the Dolphins. He's off. But like I said, Chandler Jones, Hassan Reddick, I believe. There's a couple people we could still look at. Justin Biller said, Justin Reed, please. Yes, listen, this is a guy who there's not too many things you can say about the Texans defense or the Texans offense, right? They've been limited in what they can do, guys they can bring in. But if there's any type of bright spot on Houston, it would be a Justin Reed, a guy who flies around, makes things happen, had a couple pass deflections. He had 2 interceptions this season, I believe. We could really use his services because of the unknown factor of Anthony Harris and Ronnie McLeod. Again, you can start to mark down some of the players that we have on our team that we want to look at and say, hey, let's bring them back. We saw Jason Kelce not only get another 1-year deal, but become the highest paid center on a per-year basis because of him only signing that one deal. And you gotta love the fact that he's willing to come back, put his body on the line, and work with the Eagles. There's got to be something cooking, right? Jason Kelce's a smart guy, and he hasn't just contemplated retiring last year. It's been going on for him for a couple years. Somebody who kind of wants to hang it up for not just 1 year, but 2-3 years. Something got to keep bringing him back. And we were in the mints of that Super Bowl season. We thought it was Carson Wentz could be the one that was keeping him up here, but there's more to it. And I think that Jason Kelce going through this 1-year surge of Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni, there has to be something worthwhile, right? Well, you're like, hey, the $14 million, that's what's worthwhile. He'll be getting paid the most on a per-year basis and the most he ever made in his career. I guess you can look at that, but, I mean, he was just playing at such a high level, and the offense was clicking to the end of the season before we got destroyed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who will be having Tom Brady, right? The GOAT coming back as well. KO Reacts, appreciate it, my guy. LK in the building, Williams and Reddick. Blood said Marcus Williams and DJ Chark, right? The DJ Chark news kind of fell apart. Like, he was literally talked about by a lot of media, a lot of outlets, to be a, persons of interest, have the Eagles' interest. That kind of died down once the Juju Smith-Schuster stuff came about. Let me ask you this. If it was between DJ Chark and Juju Smith-Schuster, both young, remember, Juju Smith-Schuster is only 25 years old. Who would you rather have? Both have a 1,000-yard season under their belt. Both are young. Both got more growth that they can experience, but still both would fit alongside of Devontae Smith. If you had to pick out of them 2 receivers, who would you go? Martin said Jarvis Landry just got cut. There you go. That's a guy who can also compliment. I forgot who said it on one of my Eagle streams. We did a call in, and somebody called in and talked about Jarvis Landry. I said Jarvis Landry, just being a guy who has sure hands, can go through the middle, do all them nitty-gritty type catches that, sometimes the smaller receiver and a Devontae Smith or, the faster receiver and Quez Watkins are not really used for. You got Smith who likes to stay, not him per se, but you got him who you can use on the outside, right? You don't really want to run him across the middle with linebackers and safeties there. So far, we're getting a lot of love for DJ Chark. We do got some Juju love, but DJ Chark, listen, I didn't know that the kid was 6'4". I knew that he had wheels. I knew that he was taller. I thought maybe 6'1", 6'2", but finding out he's 6'4" is wild. Again, DJ Chark coming off that, what did he do? He broke his ankle, I believe it is. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. I believe it was a broken ankle. It happened so early in the season. Jarvis Landry, the greatest first name in football. Yeah, Jarvis Landry. You already know I have to mess somebody's name up, or it's not a Philly Mike stream. Looking for Sasuke said Juju if he stops the TikTok antics. Yeah, I mean that I didn't never like that. You know what I mean? We already have Pat Mahomes' brother around the league just doing some weird stuff for TikTok love. But I mean, I think Juju has came around a little bit more. I don't think he's as heavy. Jay Wheel says 6'4" versus 6'1". Yeah, the height difference is definitely leaning toward DJ Chark. And I just, like I said, I didn't know. And then watching the little bit of tape that he had coming into this year because he got hurt early, having to really go back last year, he does play big, but he got wheels. He got wheels for a guy 6'4". He is very, very skinny, very lanky as well. Marcus said, breaking news, the Eagles training for Daniel Hunter. Not sure what that means. Yvonne says, should we go after Jarvis Landry? Listen, I think that Howie Roseman is – there's no way that – look, last year, for whatever it's worth, last year we were into Juju Smith-Schuster. We tried to get Juju. I think we sent him an offer, but he opted to stay in Pittsburgh, right? So with Howie Roseman looking at Juju last year, Howie Roseman looking at Calvin Ridley this year, pretty much we had a deal in place for Calvin Ridley, and then what happened was the Falcons found out about this gambling thing, couldn't really release the statement, so pretty much turned down the Eagles' offer, not really saying why, but letting them know that there's something lingering around, and then we came out to find out that he had, bet on Atlanta Falcons winning games and blah, 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 blah. But they're showing the Browns releasing wide receiver Jarvis Landry. They're talking about his career, and again, injuries have plagued him, but he's going to get yak. He's going to catch tough balls contested. He's going to go across the middle. He's going to, be that down and dirty type receiver that you can rely to. 3rd and 3, you got to go to Jarvis. I'm saying his name wrong again. You got to go to Jarvis Landry. Very interested. I'm not sure how old he is. They're showing him on the TV. I got ESPN on in the background. He's done a lot of trickery plays, wide receiver reverses, screens, things of that sort, but he also can, go down the field. I'm just looking at somebody who can complement Devontae, and you want a guy who can mix in the slot too, right? You don't want to keep Quez Watkins solely in the slot with that vertical speed, even though you can run post routes from the slot position. But you'd want a guy who's versatile enough to go inside and outside, right? Really confuse the defense. You can't just have Devontae Smith line up to the left in that X position every time, right? Devontae's on the X position. Devontae's at the Y. He's at the Z. He's to the left. He's to the right. He's in motion. Where's Devontae? Where's Landry? Where's Watkins? The greatest receivers, when you look at a Stephon Diggs, a Tyreek Hill, a Devontae Adams, they're all different type. Devontae, the bigger, more physical. Tyreek, the smaller, quicker guy. But they all play multiple positions. Inside, outside, left, right, motion. And that's how they really confuse defenses and get the matchup they want, because how many corners shadow? How many corners follow? So if I'm lined up against a James Bradbury against the Giants, I just keep my best guys away from them, and they might not follow. You see that with a Cooper Kupp, who really started his career inside, but showed that he could work outside too. You saw Odell Beckham go from one team to another team, and maybe the quarterback was the biggest difference, but big change. DH Eagle in the building. What's up with you? Blood said, let's go all speed and get Chark. Plus, he's tall. Yeah, you can definitely use him in the red zone. Witch King said, I don't like Landry. that much, to be honest. Does somebody know how old Landry is? And they're also talking about Deshaun Watson. They said that reports have surfaced that the Carolina Panthers and I couldn't see, it just went off. There's the Panthers, another team that they mentioned, and then they put et cetera for more teams to be meeting with Deshaun Watson in the next 48 hours. Marianne Johnson, what's going on with you? Richie Rich said, what do you think about Rasul Douglas' return? He had a very, very strong season with the Green Bay Packers. Here's my thing. The Eagles' defense right now under Jonathan Gannon would most likely favor a Rasul Douglas type of player, right? The last year we had Rasul Douglas, he was a guy that would get burnt one-on-one deep, right? Jim Schwartz didn't blitz either, but he also played single high, leaving most of his corners on an island. Jonathan Gannon is the exact opposite. He got safeties so deep that not many teams want to go deep on us. And Rasul Douglas being a guy that when you play in front of him, when you keep things in front of him, he makes it work. You saw a different brand of football played by him with the Green Bay Packers. To say that we go get him and that ends the conversation at corner, I can't do that. I think we need to get some young studs in here to grow and to eventually replace Darius Slay. But, hey, Rasul Douglas definitely took his game to a different level in a different system, and I do believe Gannon's system fits him better. Easy Money said, name a wide receiver that wants to be put their money on the line with Jalen Hurts under center and underthrowing him. No good free agent wide receiver is going to choose to play with Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's not the worst quarterback in the league, though, right? Juju Smith-Schuster being in Pittsburgh, who's their quarterback? Big Ben is gone. They got who again? What's his name? The guy from the Washington football team? Is he going to be the one throwing them? Is it going to be that other guy? I forgot his name. And then you got, like Allen Robinson, just got them playing with Mitchell Trubisky. So, I mean, Jalen Hurts, although he's not one of the young gunslingers in the league, and for as much as we criticize what Jalen Hurts was able to accomplish this year, right? There got to be some people in the league that believe that he can get better, right? Some of us don't. Some of us do. I'm not saying he will or won't, but we've seen guys, maybe not big arm style, but accuracy, reading defenses, take another step. And so we'll see. I know that Calvin Ridley I don't know if he wanted to play with him per se, but we know that the Eagles were very close to closing that deal. Very close to closing that deal if it wasn't for the gambling. Heavy A said between Panthers and Saints. That's what the report was. Panthers, Saints set to meet up with Deshaun Watson in 48 hours. In the next 48 hours, there were other teams, but no, they weren't named. They were just called and others. Shout out to Blake and It's Big O said 29 is Landry. He's at that, look, to me, it meant a lot hearing Devontae Smith, the guy who wants the ball. You heard him. You saw him in the Giants game go to Nick Sirianni and say, get me the ball. For him to go and say we could use a veteran receiver is not admitting defeat, but what it's doing is saying it's only going to enhance all our games and we're all going to grow from it. So I appreciate and love the decision of him to come out there and do that, because a lot of people could have mistaked that for a sign of weakness and or, not wanting to be the guy. But I do believe, with the report coming out that the Sixers, I'm watching Sixers highlight now, that the Eagles had a deal for Calvin Ridley, but it came off the table. Howie Roseman has in his mind, we want to get a veteran wide receiver. Devontae Smith wants it. Nick Sirianni probably wants it. And so does Howie Roseman, or he would have never because listen, the Calvin Ridley deal would have been not only paying a guy money eventually, but it would have been giving up a pick. They never came out and said what we would give up for Calvin Ridley, but if Howie Roseman was going to risk some of this draft capital for a legit wide receiver in Calvin Ridley. To me, he's better than the Juju Smith-Schuster. And I even, skill-wise, probably take him over DJ Chark. But for him to risk a draft pick in it, there should be no reason why a Landry, Juju Smith-Schuster, DJ Chark ain't on his mind right now. Again, you have to get the numbers to align. You got to get them to want to come and play for the Eagles. And as a guy like Easy Money says, he just doesn't believe that anybody's going to want to play alongside of Jalen Hurts. All that being said, there's 3 guys out there, all that we could use their services. Now, you could put in order Landry, Smith-Schuster, and DJ Chark. And I think most of you guys would say Chark, Schuster, and Landry. Let me know your order. Just give me the order of, who you think will complement this team out of them 3, 1, 2, and 3. Let me know what you think. DK Metcalf was a guy that I talked about as well. As soon as Russell Wilson was traded, and then I saw they release longtime middle linebacker Bobby Wagner, I was like, man, are they selling? Are they selling? Are they selling? There were reports that did come out saying that DK was off the table, that, they're not selling him. They still believe that they can get a quarterback in the next year or so, maybe draft one of these guys, or maybe they go try to get one of that. I'm trying to be the runner for Deshaun Watson. I don't know where they stand with that, but they're not looking to fully rebuild, more of retool. Easy Money says, stop babying this runner. This ain't Oklahoma. I mean, he got to get better as a passer, or I'll be off the table too. Philly Jackson said, thoughts on Jarvis Landry? I think that, his skill set complements. Like, if there's one thing that we're lacking in this wide receiver room is the ability to catch the ball, get tough yards, right? Rager, they try to use him in bubble screens and wide receiver screens, and Quez got the speed element to work off that. But the guy that you throw the ball across the middle to, the guy that you throw the ball to when he breaks tackles, that to me is what Jarvis Landry offers, and that is what we could use desperately to complement the speed of Quez and the route running and hands of Devontae. It really takes it puts more stress on a defense to now not only have 2 wide receivers you're worried about deep and intermediate, but just the style of Landry. I think it's tiring. Defenses don't want to deal with that. Eugene said Juju first, Landry, then Chark. Philly Jackson said get DK or Wagner. I definitely think that the Eagles should get one of these veteran linebackers with Hicks, Wagner out there. To me, it's a no-brainer. If we don't draft one of the Nakobe Deans or the Devin Lloyds in the first round, right? If we don't draft them, there's still going to be a multitude of linebackers to pick in the second and third, the Chad Mumbas, the Tenendals, the Leo Chanels, however you say his name. So regardless if you get that first round stud or a second, third round guy who has potential, wouldn't you want to learn from Bobby Wagner? And he's still got 2 years left in the tank. To me. Marianne said they probably tried to trade Wagner, but the price was too high, so they cut him. I hear you. Justin Biller said Hurts has 1 year to be patient. I think he deserves to get this 1 more year to look at. Heavy A said Chalk, Landry, then Juju. Eric G, channel member in the building. Midday live stream surprised me, Mike. I told you I wasn't going to work today. It's my birthday, and so, I still wanted to talk about some Eagle news with legal tampering being able to, starting today. You can't put the pen to paper to Monday. KW said AJ Boye just got cut. Who was he on? AJ Boye was on he was on the Panthers, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. AJ Boye was on the Panthers. He was the corner, one of the corners. Interesting. Back in the day when I first started doing YouTube, AJ Boye, when he left the Jaguars, I had interest in him. I'm not really sure what he was able to put up this year stat-wise. I know early in the season, the Panthers had a really good defense, and I don't know if he was a part of that. I know they could rush the passer. I know Hassan Riddick was over there. But that's an interesting person right there. You know, you got Carlton Davis, J.C. Jackson, Stephon Gilmore, and now you throw a guy like A.J. Boye in the mix. Solid guys to at least partner up, right? Like, what are we doing with Steven Nelson? I know a lot of you guys really don't like him. I think he had a decent year in general. When you look at what he was getting paid for, and, you know, again, nothing deep really affected the Eagles via the style of play. It'd be interesting to see. We know, to me, I think the Eagles need to extend Darius Slay. He showed Pro Bowl level play. He showed that, you know, he's on the better side of his 30s. So why not? UN versus All said Christian Kirk in the slot. I know Philly 500 is big on Christian Kirk, and I think he's I think he's more than a slot receiver. He's a little lower on my list of guys to get, but like I said, with Howie Roseman literally shooting for a guy like Calvin Ridley, should be no reason why I think you can look at safety and linebacker just as important as a wide receiver for veteran style, because I do believe this draft is going to be heavy in defense. But there should be no reason why you don't get one of these receivers. DH Eagle said, happy birthday, my good brother. Shout out to you. Tito said, Hunter is a good fit at linebacker for us. The Packers just released their linebacker, too. What's the Packers linebacker name? Kongzilla said, yeah, the Panthers. For A.J. Boye. Hunter is not a linebacker, Mon says. Ramon said, yo, bull. Chark and Landry on free agent wide receiver, DB, J.C. Jackson. I do think J.C. Jackson is going to command the most money. He's going to be the most expensive cornerback in the market. Carlton Davis, probably a little cheaper. I don't know if we break the bank for a CB, although I'm not against it. You know, J.C. Jackson showed that he can, you know, travel and play with some of the best. Zadarius Smith. Shout out to you guys for letting me know in the chat. He was released. See, again, this 12 o'clock time on March 14th, I mean, free agency, Philly Mike birthday, doesn't get any better than this for me. You know what I mean? I love the movement. And it all starts here. Like I said, you can't really put pen to paper until March 16th, but this is where it starts. A lot of guys out there. I see way more on the defense side. And that's why I'm tempted to still spend, even though I believe that Howie's going to draft defense, right? We got 247 people in here. Hold on 1 second. Help your boy out and hit that like button. It's free. It's easy. It don't cost a thing. It's your boy's birthday. The least you can do is hit the like button. You're watching. Now, if you don't have an account and you can't do it, you can't do it. But for those who can do it, there's no reason why we can't turn it to $150 off the grip with 240 in the chat. Hit that like button. It's free. It's easy. It don't cost a thing. Appreciate y'all. Martin said Ertz got paid. Yes, 3-year deal, which is good because guess who was sniffing around for Zach Ertz's service? The Washington Commanders. The Washington Commandos. They were sniffing around. They said, ooh, we got Carson Wentz. Who was the one player that he's never had a problem with? Who was the one player that he can always complete the ball to? Zach Ertz. So I'm glad that the Arizona Cardinals noticed it, saw it, and put the stamp on Zach Ertz. I'm glad they put the stamp on Zach Ertz. Ramon said, birthday too. Oh, shout out to you, bro. Cody says Zadarius Smith got released. That is facts. Look, man, I wish I had the list and pull it all up. There's a multitude of people out there. What are you more concerned about right now with the free agents we have on our team? Are you more concerned of the defense or the offense? Let me know in the chat. Shout out to all the people. Let me know. Happy birthday. Appreciate it. $1.22 on the like button. Y'all the MVP. Y'all the real MVPs. Barry, Bird Gang Mafia, channel member. You don't even got a wrench? I got to wrench you up. Bird Gang Mafia said, what do you think of Zadarius Smith, the defense, and Green Bay, Zadarius Smith, the defense and Green Bay cut? Now, is he a linebacker or a defensive end? Again, I don't know. Do the Packers play a 3-4 defense? If he's playing in the 3-4 defense, he can be that outside linebacker who's that that joker who can still blitz. You know what I mean? Where and how does he fit on our side? I'm not sure. Bird Gang in the building. What's going on, Bird Gang? A lot of people want that defense to be fixed. I'm with you guys when we talk about being fixed, but I'm talking more along the lines of free agency. So you think with the ability to go out there and get, do your thing in the draft, I mean, you think we should still target more free agent defensive players as well as go hard on defense in the draft? Appreciate all the birthday wishes, Eddie Sylvan, son of the living God. Cal Bundy said defense, Berging. Appreciate the happy birthday, my guy. Uncle Luke, you too. Happy birthday, Brody. Appreciate your content. Let's go, Birds. Facts. There's guys out there. We need to make our stamp. Look, the Philadelphia Eagles sit right now, I think, around $20 million. But that's going to change. As soon as we officially do what we need to do, we got to get some of the guys that are free agent on our side under. Who is the one Philadelphia Eagle that is a free agent that you think we have to bring back? Let me know. Ronnie McLeod, Steven Nelson, Anthony Harris, Nate Herbig, Jason Kelce was that number one priority, but we went out and got it done. 1 year, $14 million, highest paid on a year-to-year basis. Aishan, what's going on? Appreciate the love. Nick said, let's go all in for Watson. I'm still keeping my eye on that. Like I said, Howie Roseman has been a lot more quiet than I would have thought he would have been, especially with the report that he went out and acquired about Russell Wilson, right? We put in an offer, right? So for as much as we want to say Howie Roseman believes in Jalen Hurts, if you didn't watch my Deshaun Watson video, I believe his stance is if we go into the season with Hurts, we do. I want to see if he gets better, but I don't believe he's not like not looking around. I mean, the quarterback position, we all know is very important. We all know Howie Roseman loves it. No matter how much he wants to retract his statement, quarterback factory not. I think Howie feels confident. I think Howie believes that Hurts will get better, but if he has a chance to get better, I think he'll be all over it. Bergang said, bring Harris back. Pro 901 said Ronnie. Philly Jackson said he wants Ronnie. Carson Miller said Herbig. Keep said Howard and Ronnie. Oh, yeah, Jordan Howard also a free agent as loud. My mic is too loud? Andre said Boston Scott and Herbig. Scott, yes, I forgot. He's not an unrestricted free agent, but if we don't offer him the tenure, he has a chance to leave as well. It's going to be interesting what we do with Miles Sanders, and if we don't eventually extend Miles Sanders, well, then you got Kenny G, of course, and we got to figure out what we're going to do with Boston Scott. Big Chris said, put a deal on the table, Howie, for who we talking about. YBD Jackson said, and Ronnie. Yeah, listen, I think if you look at now, the biggest guy I thought the Eagles needed to go out and make sure we bring back was Jason Kelce. Number 2, to me, is Ronnie McLeod. He played better at the end of the season, getting older, but he commands a lot of respect in the locker room. And I do think, he's a guy who brings the team together. It will be nice to have a couple young guys in the room with him before he goes out. Vernon Warren, channel member, said we don't need Watson. It'll probably be a steep price. Definitely a steep price, but we'll see. Reports had surfaced from JPA Football. I don't really trust them. They're just one of them Twitter accounts that just want to be first. They don't really deep check what they say. But they said the Eagles and the Niners are out on Watson. I don't know how realistic that is. Marianne Johnson said Watson and Hurts really control the situation because little do people know they are really close. Interesting. Bergang said we need Fournette at running back. He's a guy out there. Maybe he tries to go back, though, now that Tom Brady is back in the league. Be more careful. Appreciate you. Mir Slat, happy birthday, gang. What's up with you? What's good? We were just talking about Juju Smith-Schuster. No, I'm just kidding. I know you definitely don't want him. That's why I had to say it. Second, I like Boston Scott. Yeah, he's definitely a guy who, you're not going to ever pay big money. You're never going to make him your featured back, but he offers you some good relief. I said that wrong, pause. But he offers you that change of pace back, a guy who, if and when you need him to come in, if something happens, one of your guys get banged up, he can carry the load for a little bit. He plays a lot bigger than he is. It'll be interesting to see what we do if we slap the tenured on him or not. Same with what's his name? Alex Singleton. And I know a lot of people don't like Alex Singleton too. He doesn't have the ability to start. Like if he's your starting linebacker, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. But if you can get him to just come in and play 25 to 30% of the snaps, if Alex Singleton is coming in as your change of pace linebacker, 25 to 35 snaps or 35% of the snaps, he plays better. I wonder what we'll do there. Again, there's linebackers out there between the draft and free agency. There's no reason why we just don't go get somebody. Miroslav said, bring Ronnie back, bruh. He saved 2 games for us to get into the playoffs. Like I said, he did play big down the stretch. B. Moore said, Trubisky to Pittsburgh. Is that a fact? Is that a breaking news, or is that what you think? Let me know in the chat. 144 Elite says, Seattle Seahawks, Malik Willis. That is definitely a possibility for the Seattle Seahawks. Daryl said, we need Sanders. I would try to work out a deal with Sanders. He can't pay him, though. He hasn't proved enough to be paid. Ethan said Alex Singleton is a scrub. Yeah, he's not good. He's not good. He can't start. He should never be a starting linebacker for your team or you're in trouble. I agree. Again, if you're a linebacker that only plays 25% of the snaps, you're not good. You're not good. Nobody has their 25% or backup linebacker to be starting caliber, or he would be somewhere starting. So you got to understand that. He's not worthy of a starter. You only bring him back for depth, but you got to get better. TJ Edwards showed that he can play. And if you get TJ Edwards alongside of a Devin Lloyd, a Bobby Wagner, Nakobe Dean, or one of these young guys in the second or third round, I think it's good. I think it's good. Be more careful. So Steelers now should be out on Watson. Oh, it's official. Trubisky to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Man, quarterback desperation is at an all-time high. All-time high. I mean, I guess he's going to compete with the likes of, what's the Washington football team quarterback that was drafted or in the same year as Daniel Jones? He went to the Steelers too. I forgot his name. I can't believe I can't think of his name. Who are all the Steelers quarterbacks now? I know they got the dude from the Washington football team. They got now Trubisky. And then they had that other dude. FN Raw Flashes Steelers are also probably out on the quarterback in the draft too. Haskins, that's who it is. Shout out to Blow95. Haskins, Dwayne Haskins. So they got Haskins. They got that other dude, Duck Hodges or something like that. Yeah, Dwayne Haskins. Shout out to everybody. Let me know. I mean, Mason Rudolph. That's also. So, dang. Between Mason Rudolph, Haskins, and Trubisky, what a ugly group of quarterbacks to pick for your starter. Haskins, Rudolph, and now Trubisky. Imagine having them 3 on your court. None of them are better than Jalen Hurts. That's a sad depth chart right there. I feel bad. And when you look at the Steelers defense and you look at the receiving core, you look at the run game, they got a lot. They need a quarterback, and they doing the wrong thing at quarterback. iShine said Devontae Campbell from the Packers or Jordan Hicks and still draft a linebacker in the early rounds. If you were able to secure a Devontae Campbell or a Bobby Wagner or a Jordan Hicks, and you still say you got that guy so you didn't go Devin Lloyd and or N'Kobe Dean, but say you went Chad Mumma or Leo Chanel, right? Imagine a Jordan Hicks, TJ Edwards, Leo Chanel. Imagine a Wagner, Chanel, and TJ. That would be a stout linebacking group in my eyes. Big Chris said Dillard, Hurts, Sanders, Rager, 2 ones for Watson. Big Chris, and I'm all in. I'm all in. That's a lot of players. But you got Dillard. If you and 2 ones. I mean, that it will take something like that. I mean, Rager probably hurts the trade more than helps it. Stu Vision says Steelers have Rudolph, Haskins, and Trubisky, and they still going to draft a quarterback. Now, that's a factory. It's a broke factory, but that's a factory for sure. B. Moore said, give me DJ Chark and Marcus Williams and Howie has good with me. Look, Philly Mike Birthday today, you can't fully put the pen to paper to 16, but if he would get DJ Chark and Marcus Williams, hey, Howie, you did your thing for me. You did your thing for me. You're just trying to get back. We're just trying to get back. But I think a signing on offense and defense would really just bring in what we need. Definitely. Because right now, if we don't sign a free agent wide receiver, which I don't understand why we wouldn't, you heard the multiple reports that Howie Roseman, as well as the coaching staff, wants a veteran wide receiver. We already showed it by trying to get Calvin Ridley. If we don't get a wide receiver in free agency, well then, I'm not saying we should or shouldn't, but one of them first-round picks most likely go to a wide receiver. And I like Treylon Burks. I like Chris Olave. I like Drake London. I think who else? I think Jameson Williams with the injury. I think, he falls to the second. But I like some of the receivers. Treylon Burks probably being my favorite. Just as speed and height, his body frame, his catch range. I know London is bigger. I think London's a lot stiffer, though, to be honest. But they're talking right now about the Mitchell Trubisky is signing with the Steelers. Oh, my goodness. So y'all were definitely right about that. Trubisky, backup for the Bills, now going to be in the running for a starting job against Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins. My goodness. Pick 19, yeah. I felt like if you could get a veteran wide receiver, you didn't have to go wide receiver in the first round. Because you never know. How he goes the wrong one, we're hurt. Philly Bull Dame said, is Christian McCaffrey a free agent? If so, we should bring him in. Now, if Christian McCaffrey's not a free agent, he just got paid that big deal, so he's going to be on the Panthers for a while. You would have to trade for him. And then when you talk about trading, now that's not only keep paying the guy's salary, which is out of this world for a running back. Sorry to say, but running backs are just not worth that type of money for a long-term investment unless you are the Christian McCaffrey type running back, the Derrick Henry, one of them just do-it-all type guys. But still, when they get that money, they never really live up to it. Look at Zeke. Zeke was that dude for a minute, got paid, and never even had a season equivalent to what got him that money, right? It's a what have you done for me lately league, and this doesn't look good for a running back market for being paid. Germany said need to work on our offensive line. We haven't seen any new decent offensive line since the last 10 years. Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata. These two are building and foundation pieces that are young. Jordan Mailata just got paid. Landon Dickerson, rookie season, played terrific at the left guard position. Blood said Trubisky, the starter, he can run at least, pass a little bit. Yeah, I mean, you got Rudolph, Trubisky, and Haskins. It's sad to say, but Trubisky is probably the best one out of there. Darren said, how do you really feel about Hurts? I'm sold on him. He's our guy. I'm at the point where I do got to see more. Like, the up and down season, which you can expect from a young player, a rookie, but like just the things that you see him get better at in one game and come back and show the same uh, same things that, haunted him in his draft profile and things of that sort. I believe, he's always going to have to be ahead of schedule because his delivery's too long and his arm is big enough, but he has to throw his body in it. Here's the different thing. When they say he can't throw the ball deep, it's not that he can't throw it 40, 50 yards. He can, but he has to ramp up. So somebody like a Josh Allen, a Pat Mahomes, right? They could be offset and with the flick of the wrist, let the ball travel that 40 to 50 yards, right? With Jalen Hurts, he can get the ball down the field 40 to 50 yards, but he has to stop. He has to gather himself. And that stop and gathering time is time that you can't, you got to be ahead of the schedule. So you got to stop, gather, throw on time. Mechanically, mechanics are a big part of that. And that's why he's been late and not being able to anticipate throws. I think, right now how I feel, I don't think the Eagles are going to get Deshaun Watson, and I'm okay. And I want to see Jalen Hurts one more year. I'm at the point where if we traded for Deshaun Watson, depending on what we give up, I won't be mad because Deshaun Watson is better than Jalen Hurts right now. But if you ask me what I think and what I would do, I want to build this roster. It's at a fragile point. With the money we have on free agency, the cheapness of a Jalen Hurts, and the draft picks we have, we're at a point where we can change the complexion of this team, and I think that is what needs to happen. I do believe, if you made me guess, I think Jalen Hurts is going to be better in year 2, starting year 3 of the league. He's going to have to really pay attention, learn how to read defenses, work on his accuracy, and keep the mechanics in check so that when he does roll out, he doesn't put his body in a position where, oh no, my guy's open. Let me stop, get ready, and throw it. Now he's not, because a NFL window is a lot different from a college window. But that's his problem. Mahomes rolling out, the Bills quarterback rolling out, just bang, flick of the wrist. Jalen Hurts got to gather himself, and that's where he gets in trouble. Professor said Panthers don't have the QB for that. To what? To go get Watson? Eddie said we need a young center and a right guard. Brandon Brooks retiring. That's definitely going to set the alarm for Howie Roseman to probably bring in a offensive lineman. We do have Nate Herbig. I like Nate Herbig, not at center, at guard, but I don't want him to be the starting offensive guard. I would like Nate Herbig to be that guy that you come in, that comes in the swing guard. Like if he needs a play, he comes in and plays, offers you some quality play, and then, goes back to his bench role because the starter's there. Center is definitely going to be a priority. Maybe not this draft, but it got to be soon. Kelce's not going to keep taking 1-year deals. He's going to be on his way out soon. Shout out to him for coming back one more season. Maybe he believes we're building something right, and he wants to be a part of it. First-year coach, first-year starting quarterback, no matter how you want to cut it. You could say, well, we ran ourselves to the playoffs, or we did this. We had an easy record. Whatever you want to say, it could be whatever you want to say. The fact of the matter is, not many first-year quarterbacks and coaches go to the playoffs. They don't. We did. Got to build off that. Shout out to my guy, Birdman951 in the building. It's Big O said package Dillard, Sanders, Rager, and a third for Lockett and DK. Sign me up there. Bird Gang said get Campbell, Jones, draft Lloyd, Davis, and London in the first, and Christian Harris in the second. We'll be set. Yeah, man. Listen, I feel like, April's going to be a very stressful time because although we feel like it's easy to see what we need to get, I just don't know. Sometimes he's been better of late, but I'm always nervous. Blake Murray said, love the explanation, bro. Appreciate the support and appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, that's how I feel. Again, Jalen Hurts can throw. If he stands there, he can throw the ball down the field with the rest of them. It's his delivery. It's how he gets it down there. That's what he has to work on. The Russian spy said, don't forget Isaac Seumalo. Forgot about him. Dang, that injury was so long, and Landon Dickerson is playing so well at left guard. I totally forgot. That is important. And Isaac Seumalo, to me, always had a bad rap in the sense of because he played at one time, it was Jason Peters, Hall of Famer. Jason Kelce, Hall of Famer. Brandon Brooks, Hall of Famer. Lane Johnson, Hall of Famer. And maybe Brandon Brooks ain't a Hall of Famer because his career was short. But you know what I mean. These are all pro offensive linemen. And because Isaac Seumalo, who to me is a solid B, he played along A-plus linemen. That him being a B-plus, B-minus lineman always made him look like he was worse. But he's solid. He's good. He just played with great players around him. Nick Campbell said, Broncos got smacked by us, and everybody says they're Super Bowl contenders with Wilson. Why aren't we with Watson? I'm not saying we are or not. Here's the thing. The Broncos are retaining their players, right? Say we get Watson. Say we get Watson for dang near all 3 first-round picks. Well, Barnett's leaving. Whether they were good snaps or bad snaps, they got to be replaced because he played 60%. He played damn near 85, 90% of the snaps. Barnett's gone. Fletch might be gone, right? Graham might not come back the same. Ronnie McLeod, Anthony Harris. Like, there's so many people that we're losing either this year or next year. The Broncos are in the beginning of them building their stuff. They gave up their picks, but they got 3 wide receivers that they believe all in. They got the O-line. They got this. They got that. They feel like their defense is intact. I feel like we are at a spot now where we have enough to get to the playoffs. If we could just not let our defense go or get older, then yeah, we might be in a different position. It is what it is. What are we going to do with Miles Sanders? What are we going to do with Jordan? Like I said, the roster's so unknown. That's why it's different. But I hear you. I mean, listen, I think the Eagles roster is better than what people say. But we're talking about last year's roster. Steven Nelson, Anthony Harris. Like, there's so many people who were on a 1-year deal that we have to replace. Marianne Johnson, I listen to Jacob Radio every morning. They say the Eagles are pretty satisfied at the offensive line prospects they have. If one falls to them, they'll take it. They're not desperate for O-line help. I agree. That's exactly what I think. Howie Roseman's always going to keep an eye open to a offensive lineman. It's just his – listen, if you – and I believe in this setup, right? You start your football team up front from both sides of the ball. That's the defensive line and the offensive line. I firmly agree with that. Andy Reid installed that to us, and Howie has lived and died by it, right? Missed out on Barnett, 14th overall pick. I won't say he's a bust, but, you know, he's not good enough for your 14th overall pick. He should be getting that second contract. He didn't get the second contract. With that being said, offensive linemen and defensive linemen are always going to be on Howie's radar, whether that's free agency, whether that's the draft. He's always going to look at that position because that position can make your quarterback and wide receivers better, and it can make your corners and linebackers better. Again, you get a shot at the quarterback each play as a defensive lineman. It's very, very important in the league. The best teams have the best D-lines and offensive lines. Look at who goes to the Super Bowl, right? Bucks, Super Bowl champions. Why did the Chiefs look so bad in that thing? Because they lost all their offensive linemen. What did the defense look like for the Bucks? Wasn't too great in the back end, but that front seven was dirty. It's always been about the O-line, D-lines, and that's why I always put the Philadelphia Eagles up high, right? Now, I was proved wrong. I thought our defense coming off third in the league, we were in 2020, we were third in the NFL in sacks. 2021, we were 31st. I said in the offseason, why are we being overlooked in the sense that I know that Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni are big unknowns. But whenever you have a top 10 defensive line and offensive line, you're always going to compete. I thought we had a top 10 D-line. We didn't. But we did have a top 10 O-line, and that's why we did make the playoffs. Carson said, yes, sign me Juju, draft another wide receiver, maybe Christian Watson out of NDSU, and our wide receiver group looks scary. Hey, I'm not opposed to going for a wide receiver later in the draft, but we have to get something in in free agency, or you can bet that one of these first-round picks will go to the offensive, the wide receiver position. With that being said, we're going to wrap this up shortly. We got 260 people in the chat. Do me a favor, 31 more likes. 31 likes, and we get to 200. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. Shout out to Grim Pulse with the happy birthday wish. Let's get to 200 likes. Let's do it. There's no reason why we can't do it. It's free. It's easy. Don't cost a thing. If and when the Eagles mark down somebody again, free agency is now open. That is March 16th, March 14th, and March 15th is legal tampering, meaning you're able to contact this agent, contact this player. You're able to see who gets cut because we saw a multitude of cuts, releases around the league. Today is the start of fixing your football team. It starts with signing some of our own guys back. We saw that with Jason Kelce, and now we have to continue to build. Mitchell Trubisky just went to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's a very interesting thing. They got 3 backup quarterbacks. One of them are going to try to be the starter, I believe. There's still going to be teams that are running for Deshaun Watson. You got Juju Smith-Schuster. Wide receivers, you got Smith-Schuster, Landry, and DJ Chark. All guys the Eagles should be looking at. When you look on the defensive side, pass rushers, Chandler Jones, Hassan Reddick, Von Miller, Jadeveon Clowney. When you look at linebacker, Devontae Campbell, Bobby Wagner. What was I about to say? Bobby Wagner. The chat got me messed up. Bobby Wagner, Jordan Hicks, Devontae Campbell. And then when you look at secondary, they got Carlton Davis, J.C. Jackson, Stephon Gilmore, and last but not least, safety Justin Reed, Marcus Williams, Jesse Bates. I don't know if he got signed back. Let me know in the chat. But what I'm trying to say to you is this free agency class to me is great. There's a lot of quality, high-quality defense and offensive players that the Eagles must look at. And I'm here to tell you, I firmly believe we will see a offensive signing and a defensive signing. Zadarius Smith is another one. Shout out to Jeremy Pfister. Offensive signing and defensive signing before March 17th. We will see an offense and defensive signing before March 17th. Mark my words. I will be dropping a video later today. I will be live for my Sixer fans in here. We will be live tonight, 8:30, at 7:30. We got Sixers versus Nuggets. I will be live for the Sixers game, and we are going to be going live and dropping a lot more Eagle games for sure. Eagle games. A lot more lives and Eagle videos for sure. Keep that post notification turn on. I appreciate all the love, all the support. Y'all know y'all football, and I love rocking with you. The Eagles will get better. We're going to make some moves. And if you thought year 1 of the Nick Sirianni was something, wait till you see. Wait till you see year 2. And I got to play for you guys. Love is everywhere. Until next time, I go by Philly Mike. This is the Philly Talk Podcast. We are out. Peace.